Might as well rip the Band-Aid off. Canada, listen, you guys are talking a lot of trash for a team that got dominated in the third and in overtime. Bennington, would not have stood on his head, and Austin Matthews would have been about as clutch as an automatic shift. We would have won. You know this. No excuses. Canada, they played well. They still didn't unclog the neutral zone. The United States had them down and out, but got to give it to my Canadian brothers. At least you guys won something. Certainly not a Stanley Cup, and it won't be Olympic gold, but good to have you guys. It was nice to see. It was a great game. You know, that's all I wanted. I wanted it competitive, you know? Good for Canada. It's not like I don't root for half the guys on the Canadian team. God bless you, Livy.
Thank you.
Friday night. Hope everybody's doing all right. Got a good show for you tonight. I am exhausted. Absolutely exhausted. Been a hell of a week. Watch for something special on the intro at the very end where Yenny pops in. We got a little something for all y'all. We're talking about a bunch of different things tonight. As always, it's always something. Alpha Block, we're talking about schools need to teach again. B Block, Trump calls out the Maine governor. We got a little tense, a little dicey. Biden slush fund of $20 billion. I got all the details and what happened. JD Vance torches CNN. You know, passport. It's a transgender passport thing. You'll hear a little bit about it. Hamas deserves everything they get and more. And Denver is a lower ring of hell. We're going to talk about Denver. We'll be back in 3 minutes, folks. Can't wait to see ya. Look closely, lower right-hand corner.
It's Red Friday, RED Friday, which stands for Remember Everyone Deployed. A movement designed to honor veterans and deployed U.S. troops by wearing a red shirt every Friday. As simple as that may be, Red Friday is a great way to back those who serve our country. Go to dumbshow.com and search for Red Friday to get your red on.
Real
important message here. If you haven't checked it out yet, you absolutely have to. There is this podcast that I'm sure some of you have seen me on. It's phenomenal. It's called The Dumb Show or The Don't Unfriend Me Show. You can find them on all social media at The Dumb Show or visit thedumbshow.com. Listen to their podcast. Absolutely perfect with host Matthew Spear.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Don't unfriend me. We should have a new voiceover coming here over the weekend from somebody who's done a ton of ads, and we're going with a female this time, and we're going to have a third commercial that we play. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. You may have seen that Ash has made an appearance at
There she is again.
What's she barking for?
I don't know. Either to go out or the cat. Those are really
Why
the
is
only
this starting
things.
so early? Hayden, what's going on? She what?
I have no idea.
All right, well, Hayden has the dog, which means the dog should shit in the house, eat the furniture, and probably start a game of poker with the fox, the chipmunk, and the brown bear that we have.
Yeah, Ethan is at skate night.
Yeah, so we told her to take care of the dog and start a fire. I have a feeling that the dog will be over a spigot, and
You're trusting her to start a fire?
no, I was teasing.
I was going to say, we got to clean out that gym too. The fireplace, it's got a little bit.
Yeah, it's been
a lot of ashes.
it was cold. God, it's been
cold.
Dude,
this
I've never
week.
seen the heat pump not be able to keep up with the outside weather, but it was like, grrr.
It could not keep up.
No, it certainly didn't feel like it was 64 in here though. That's crazy.
It's probably because it's like a 6-degree swing from what it was outside.
Well, right, going outside with that damn dog. I tell you, man, it's not bad. Like, I don't care if it's like -10, but you put that wind in there,
gosh.
nah, forget it, man.
That wind is insane.
My balls go up to my throat, my butthole puckers, and I say no. It literally feels like, winter is coming, Jon Snow.
Winter is here.
Winter is here, Jon Snow. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
You knew nothing, Jon Snow.
Yeah, she got hotter, when she stopped being a wildling.
Yeah.
She got kind of hotter.
Well, they got married, so
That doesn't make it. That doesn't. Nice. It must be 7:07. You dropped something already on
it's
the show.
9 o'clock is what it is.
Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. That's Olivia. She's my wife. We're doing something
You
new.
say it like that's a bad thing. She's
No,
my
I didn't.
wife.
I just think you're a little. You sound like you're insecure. There's no reason. I'm very happily married. I just wrote an article about the institution of marriage and
Really?
saying, yeah. So yeah, think of that. I mean, I didn't talk about you. I talked about my mistress.
That's a good point.
We're not going to do this right now. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go. This is kind of in the new format. Usually, I go right into the donations and go into the Constitution, and I'm going to go into the A block right away, and because we don't leave people hanging on, right? I feel like that doesn't help. Schools need to teach again. Get a video. Liv, you and I agree that we're in a very lucky school district. It's one of the best in the country. It's one of the best places to live in the country.
If it wasn't for it being an amazing school district for learning, I wouldn't put up with the shit that they do. But
Well, the middle school. What does the high schools do?
well, no, it's the whole district in itself.
Oh,
what
I
they
know, but
do,
the high school's good. It's the middle school that we're kind of like meh, and the elementary school. But anyway, it's expensive, but we enjoy it. But schools need to do. I remember this growing up, and I don't see this happening anymore. And we got a good show. We got a lot of good stuff. I mean, and it's very woman heavy. So a lot of girl stuff here. It's very I feel like I'm gonna have to pee sitting down tonight. We need to go get yogurt after this. I really don't care. We're done at 9 o'clock. We're gonna go get yogurt. We've earned it. So here's something that I just think is magical. And yeah, probably a private school. You know what I mean? But I did this stuff when I was younger. You can't do this stuff now. Holy shit.
That was loud.
It's not my fault. Hold on. let's dial that down a little bit. Was that in your?
Yes, that was. Whoa.
Okay, let's try it again. Let's take it.
Better.
Okay, that's pretty good. It almost like somebody ripped off Gaston's song because it's almost like, oh, yeah, fight like Gaston. Like, I got to be careful. I don't want to get a copyright strike with my rendition of Gaston.
Because you sound just like him.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Was that an insult? Listen, the insecurity running through this household is a little much tonight. Here we go. Linda, why do you got to screw up this amazing rendition? Someone ban her ass. Linda Cause. Get rid of her. If my music teacher looked like that, I probably would have paid a hell of a lot more attention to.
That was amazing.
Isn't that incredible? It brought
That was
tears.
awesome.
It brought tears to my eyes. I'm like, that is incredible.
Definitely a private school.
Yeah, it's a millennial choir and orchestra, but it doesn't matter. The point is, we sang stuff like that all the time in school. In fact, I remember that rendition of that, and until I heard it a second time. We did that at Uniprocera Elementary School. I remember it clear as day. They don't do that stuff anymore. Now it's like, Romeo and Juliet with a Twilight frickin' spin of, stuff. Hey, Bobby, thanks. With love. Awesome. Thanks, Bobby.
If it was the liberals, it'd be like, Washington was a very fine woman indeed.
Right. Had real teeth and wooden breasts.
Exactly.
I just, and instead of chopping down a cherry tree, chopped off his own penis. I just, come on. That was like, listen, I've been all my daughter's play, Beauty and the Beast, was like that. It was just incredibly good.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of it, you're just like, you got goosebumps and you're just like, holy crap. When they did Be Our Guest.
Oh, it was amazing.
So much going on, and plates and silverware and just, you felt like you were in the animated special. It was just,
It was amazing.
It was amazing. It was incredible. I would rather go to that than a Broadway play. Truly.
It reminded me, because they were little kids, made me think of Hayden's kindergarten Christmas concert.
Yeah, but
that was the cutest thing.
But they don't do
ever.
stuff like that anymore.
No, they don't. I don't think our kids have ever done a President's Day anything. I know Hayden in kindergarten, they had half the class made the headband Indian feathers, and half of them dressed up as pilgrims.
Right.
And then they had their Thanksgiving luncheon that all the parents were able to come to. And that was even in California. But we lived in a really good school district.
We live in a
California.
conservative district.
Conservative area, an amazing school district in California.
Yeah.
So
in the area where bullets weren't literally flying every single night. Like the area that if you went into and you had a lowrider, basically, you got SWAT up your yin yang. But when I say they don't do that anymore, our schools do. Everyone sees it every year. We've done it for 4 years. We play the musical, and Ethan got to do it this year. But the Christmas music, it's amazing. And you don't see it enough. You don't see things like that enough. And it helps kids with their self-confidence. And there's a great video called Self-Efficacy, and it's called Touching the Snake, and it's not what you think. But it's one of the best videos, and I've shown it to you. I've showed it on here on the show. And it talks about overcoming people's phobias and fears. And now they don't put kids up on stage because, it makes them feel uneasy and inadequate. Good.
They need to feel like that. And speaking of concerts, Ethan's concert is Monday, just at 7:00.
Right, he has a solo, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. So we might be starting the show late on Monday.
Well, yeah. What we'll do is we'll broadcast the show and then we'll come on after.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we'll do. But, these type of things are needed in schools today. You got to have this stuff. I mean, that was beautiful. I want to watch it again.
It was amazing.
It
Gave me goosebumps.
Well, they sounded amazing.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, it also helps when you can carry a tune. But I think when we talk about education and where schools need to go, I don't think they should cut out the extracurricular activities. I think STEM is important, of course, but it can't just be STEM. You got to have music.
You got to have the fine arts.
And home ec. And you got to teach women what to do. So home ec is good. And, you got to teach a guy how to drop the oil and do wood shop and make the electric elephant light up. And women
we had wood shop and auto shop at our high school.
Well, so did I. But you didn't have just that, but they had intro to air conditioning repair and plumbing, and our California school district was amazing. It's just not like that anymore. It's just crazy. It's not what it used to be. But these are the things that are going to help kids be more successful if we can try to find a way to make them teach, right? And teaching just isn't about school books. It's about putting kids in uncomfortable situations to help them grow. That the whole awkward point of school is what it's designed to do. And now it seems like they're so busy making the kids comfortable that they don't learn those life lessons until they get out and in the real world. They're like, oh, this is horrible. I can't make a living doing this. Well, who told you could? You have to
work 40 hours a week and not make $500,000 in a year. How come I can't work only 10 hours and make that much money?
I had 5 roommates when I left. We were in a 450 square foot place. It was a studio apartment. There was 5 of us.
Oh, jeez.
And it was in downtown Denver, and it was $720 a month. And we scrounged, and I bounced bar and did Paris on the Platte, and bounced Paris. And this was right before the military. And I sold sofas and Lazy Boys at Sofa Mart, but we got by, and we scrounged. But nobody told me that, I was going to be a CEO. I knew it. I knew that, life was going to be hard from 18 to 25. It was going to even get harder between 25 and 32. And then life would start to settle down, and you would realize that now you have a wife and maybe kids and some pets and a mortgage, and life got more complicated. But it was always an up and down situation. It was never going to be stagnant. My parents set me up for that and told me that life is always going to throw curveballs. And now when we get a curveball for life, we're like, whatever, we'll figure it out. But we never used to be like, we would stay up at night. We would yell at each other and be mean to each other. And you would beat me and,
you deserved it.
Make me wear that dress. And,
and the underwear.
And on the underwear. Those things were uncomfortable.
The leather.
The pleather. They weren't even real leather. They flaked.
We couldn't afford real
leather. Queen Banhammer donated $5. Thank you, Amy. So, it is what it is. But we've got to start setting kids up for success again. We got to start having kids again. Go read the article over at dumbnews.com. If you haven't been over there, folks, go do it. Go to the dumbnews.com. Take a look. And I've been writing articles every day. I've been getting back in the writing bug. I got sick of it for a while, so I stopped. But every day, go to the dumbnews.com and you can see some great articles. Today, we did an article about the world depopulation and what's been going on with people not having children. It's a scary thing, and really puts us on notice here in the United States of getting back with family values and Christianity, and the things that we were talking about even at schools will help with these things of giving kids hope for a future, that just because their marriage with their mom and dad didn't go well doesn't mean that marriage is a cursed institution. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I adore my wife unequivocally, and I usually do
most of the time.
I usually do it on a Friday because we haven't had sex in 5 days. And I hate her on Monday, but I love her on Friday. J.G. Lee just subscribed. Thank you. He went over to Facebook and joined the Dumb Nation crew. By the way, Constitution of the United States, 144 pages. We sold one today. This one will be autographed personally for a viewer who asked me to do it. Mr. McGuire said, hey, can you write something nice in here? And I'm about to. But we only have 2 left. So these were a limited edition. We sold 40 plus. And it is 144 pages. It's gold inlay. It is leather. And the great thing about this Constitution is this is the one that's sold in the Smithsonian, Library of Congress. But that's a smaller edition. This is the full size. And inside, it has got a beautiful velvety inlay with a presidential seal. It's got the articles, which are exciting. It's got all the Constitution, the entire Constitution. It's got the Bill of Rights, and it has all the amendments. In the back, you've got all the authors and the framers, biographies with pictures and photos, tells you all about them. And this is something we use in the show religiously. We open this up and we have questions. Whenever we, have a constitutional crisis, we go ahead and open that up. Also, you go to thedumbshow.com and donate by going to thedumbshow.com/donate, and it helps us be successful. We have a commercial coming with this. All these people who are throwing in money because they're just amazing. Stephen Cornett says, love this show, $50. Stephen is starting to challenge Bobby. He is definitely not, he's got a long way to go, but I'm just saying, it's like Stephen and Bobby are just like, making it rain in here. It's like Olivia's flashing her boobies, or if I would. So
flashing the boobies not going to happen, but thanks for trying. That's later in the bedroom.
Right.
Hey, someone picked up the Documents of Freedom today too.
Oh, well, it was the 3-book edition. Mm-hmm. That was last night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't check my email last night.
No.
Those
books are going out. So stop by thedumbshow.com/donate. That's the end of the intro of the show. Now we will go into the official show. Just wanted to show that video. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Trump calls out the Maine governor. Now, we've had these conversations before, Liv. We know the governors essentially report to the president. And the president's job is not the president of the people. The president's job is to essentially be the president of the states. And the people inside those states don't report to the president, but they do have a very close relationship with the president of the United States. And if you're a governor and you don't get along with the president, it's not very good for you. It's not a good thing. You can ask Gavin Newsom what that looks like. You can ask Hochul what that looks like. You can ask plenty of people who are in the biz. When an opposite president is in and you don't get along with them, it kind of is shit, because if your state needs something or you need federal funding, they can kind of drag and make it hard on you. Maine Governor Janet Mills is a Democrat, and she is refusing to comply with the executive order to keep men out of women's sports. Donald Trump wasn't having any of that, and has no problem going after a politician on the center stage, which is interesting. I've seen him go after the media, but I've never really seen him hit a politician, because his rallies are usually people that he wants to surround himself with. But to hit a Democrat, now even Schumer and Pelosi, he hit them, but he didn't do it in their presence like this. It's pretty ballsy, and it shows once again that President Trump doesn't give a crap because he doesn't have a third term coming. Here is the video, and I want to get your thoughts on this, Liv.
The NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well,
I'm here.
are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it, because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply, because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor, because I don't think you'll be in elected politics. The NCAA.
I love him.
He's the president of the governors.
Awesome.
Yeah, you don't.
Oh man, don't fuck with Trump.
No, a lot of people don't understand, man, that he is the president of the governors, and his job is to execute federal law, and the governors are supposed to, based upon their state's constitution, enforce those laws as well. And if they don't, Mike Lynch says, hope everyone is doing well. Also, Trump has balls of steel versus governor of Maine. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, he does. I mean, I listen, I don't condemn that at all. If you want to try to embarrass Donald Trump when he has the mic, that's like people who try to call into this show and debate. It's like you're just walking into a buzzsaw. You don't even know what you're walking into. What do you think of this, Liv? What do you think of this new and improved Trump?
I absolutely love it. The best way to describe it is he has zero fucks to give.
Yeah, that's
it's pretty much where he's at.
It's kind of true.
He doesn't care. He is not going for re-election because he can't. So he's not trying to kiss anyone's ass. And he did that a little bit on his first term because he wanted to get reelected.
Yep.
And he doesn't care. He's getting his agenda pushed through.
Yeah.
No matter what.
He's got a mandate.
What he promised the American people is what he is going to do. And no one's going to get in his way.
It's a new Trump. And it's like when he had the mandate the first go around, they were against him. And he didn't get anything done for those 2 years. This time, he's not waiting for the House and Senate. And the interesting thing is he hasn't even pulled that card, that Trump card. He's using executive orders to get things through. Now, not necessarily the best thing, because if we want true change, you've got to do it through law. Executive orders aren't going to get it done because people can just deny those, and the states can say, we don't give a shit. We have the 10th Amendment. We don't have to listen to you. The governor in Maine's going to win. But when he holds her funds, she's going to lose. So she may win the legal battle where she can do whatever she wants with trans. But
is that considered quid pro quo?
Quid pro quo?
Yeah. Where he's saying, unless you comply with this, I'm not giving you.
No, because that's the difference between federal and state. See, there's a big difference. Quid pro quo is de facto for personal gain or bribery when it comes to you either do this for me or I won't do this for you. He's not asking for it to be done for him. He's asking it as the constituents of Maine don't support it, that he is writing a federal law and therefore she must follow it. If she doesn't, he's going to withhold funds. It's a little bit different than quid pro quo.
Got it. Okay.
What he can't do is say, listen, you need to put your full-throated support behind me, and if you don't, I'm going to withhold funds. That is quid pro quo. Like what he did with Burisma investigation and holding the funds. He had every right to do that. In fact, he could hold those funds to any country for 120 days, just like he's doing now, and they impeached him for it. But what they said was that he asked for dirt on Biden for his campaign. Well, it just happened to be that Biden was running against him. The corruption from Burisma was very well known. Everyone knew what happened. Biden admitted it on TV. Trump was simply saying, listen, we need to know what happened, and we expect to hear this from the prosecutor who was relieved, Shokin, I believe his name is, and we need to hear the truth, and I want you to look into it. That's not quid pro quo, but that's what they hit him on.
Got it.
So a little bit different.
We just had an order for the Constitution.
Oh, did we?
Glenn Hafford.
Oh, Glenn, you're going to love it. You're going to enjoy it. Great. Congratulations. Thanks, buddy.
We will get them out. Monday's not a holiday, right?
No, Monday's not a holiday. I'm going to book them tonight or tomorrow.
It'll
get them all
go
back.
out Monday or Tuesday. It really depends because I don't get off early on Monday anymore. So
you are going to be getting off all weekend, and
yes,
you're going to be you need to stop. It's not appropriate, Liv. I mean, really, it's not appropriate. So
I was planning on taking the kids to the park for picnic lunch on Tuesday, so I can take it then.
It doesn't matter. We just need to drop it off at some point. Can't we do it tomorrow morning? Isn't the post office open?
Yeah, if we get them. Yeah, we can pack them up and do it tomorrow morning.
Get them done. It's not a big deal. Just just get it done. All right. Well, then we will. All right. So last word on this. Donald Trump he's got a mandate. He's enacting the will of the people. If people disagree, well, then you can take it to court. Trump has no problem with court. But what he's really doing is he's setting up and exposing these Democrats, and he's getting them to pick a side. And this is going to kill him in midterms. So wait till they start passing legislation, because that's where the rubber is going to meet the road, is can they rank and file? And based upon the nominations, I'm telling you, a lot of Republicans did not want RFK. They did not want Tulsi Gabbard. They did not want Kash Patel. You have to understand that Trump got everything he wanted, and I don't even think he wanted Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz has disappeared in obscurity, and the reason why is because Matt Gaetz was most assuredly guilty of the things that they were accusing him of, and that's why they backed off.
He was a scapegoat, I think.
I don't think he was.
Not a scapegoat, but Matt Gaetz probably, him and Trump probably had an agreement of some
Of
sort.
course they did, which, you can be a special counsel, you can do this, you can do that. But dude, you need to step out because you're about ready to face charges, and they're gonna go ahead and impeach and remove your ass. So the paper trail on Gaetz is pretty convincing. And the amount of money, there was,
I don't even know what he did. I didn't even hear about it.
he had some inappropriate underage, doesn't matter. People are like, well, she was 17. It doesn't matter. It's the law. Okay? It's the law. You can't do it. If some guy, 24, 25, 26, 28-year-old, sleeps with a 17-year-old, there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong. Well, she didn't tell him. Well, it's your job to know. Statutory rape works that way. I'm not saying Matt Gaetz is a bad guy. I'm saying Matt Gaetz probably liked to party a little bit, probably liked to do a little of the nose candy, probably did some things that were a little questionable. And you know what? We've all done it. I've done it. Good for him. But if they have the goods on him, there's not much he can do. And I truly believe they had the goods on him. And I do believe there was a sacrifice. Of course I do. But it also benefited Matt, so he didn't have to leave Congress in disgrace. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And gave him an out without him
Yes.
pretty much admitting everything.
Exactly. Because nobody thought Matt Gaetz was going to be AG. I think that came out of everything else, maybe. But Matt Gaetz came out of left field. I didn't see that coming at all. And I really am not surprised about any of his other picks. I feel very comfortable with his other picks. And although Tulsi Gabbard I don't love, we're going to find out. We're going to find out how good she is at her job. You know what I mean? We're going to find out pretty quick.
Who's Secretary of State? I don't remember.
Marco Rubio.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The Dumb Store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction. We offer quality products like coffee, shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made by veterans. Shop with confidence, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews. Use code DUMB10 to save 10%. Visit thedumbshow.com today. Thank you for your support.
Moving in the B block, head over to thedumbshow.com. You get the Red Friday shirts there. We've got wicked stuff. By the way, the coffee. We have now sold 42 bags of coffee, I think, in 4 days. We just started talking about, thank you, Maddie Howen. It's thank God it's Red Friday, kicking back with some bourbon. Hey, dude, that sounds right up my alley.
It looks like we sold another Documents of Freedom just now.
Bundle or box?
Bundle.
Good.
The collection.
The 3 bundle?
Yep.
Good. We've got plenty of those. You just threw a downvote, whoever it was. Fat fingers, fix it. We don't get downvotes. It just doesn't happen. But coffee, folks. We've got it for you. I forgot to talk about this. The intro. It was new for me. But we've sold a shit ton of coffee. This is veteran made, 100%. It comes in a hermetically sealed body bag, resealable.
Body bag. That sounds really bad.
It's fantastic. It's a coffee bag, but it's fantastic. We have 6 different flavors. 4547 is the brand new one. This is a blend FJB. It's got caramel and honey undertones. It is delicious. It's not a flavored coffee. We don't do that shit. We do coffee that puts hair on your chest. And if you're a woman, it just makes you like running around in a field of wheat in a white dress and sunshine like an OBG commercial. But this is great stuff. It's made by Matt Hawley in Wisconsin. It is. Thank you for fixing the downvote. We appreciate it. It was a mistake. We knew it. And you can get this. We do not raise our prices on coffee. It has stayed the same for 4 years. Everyone else is up 25%. You can get it. And when I say it's freshly roasted, when you open it up, you'll understand. It is guaranteed fresh within 3 days of you receiving it to be roasted. And you will know when you open it up. And then when you brew it, remember, don't go super strong. It is very good coffee. And if you have a French press, use it. And I'm telling you, it'll knock your socks off. Trump calling out the Maine governor. I think it's what we want. I think that's what he needs to do. I think he needs to stop being soft on these guys. And he might get into some conversations that he doesn't want to. He'll win some and lose some. But right now, call them out, every one of them. Biden's slush fund of $20 billion. Did you hear about this?
No. I haven't really watched any news this week, so I don't know.
So I'm just going to give you the high level on this, and I kind of put this together, and it's a little bit longer, but trust me when I say this, there's a lot of research that went on to this. I'll be releasing an article probably on Monday about this. It's you guys just hang back and listen to this. It's not good. In the final months of the Biden administration, the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, orchestrated a massive financial maneuver transferring $20 billion in taxpayer funds into Citibank-managed escrow accounts controlled by 8 politically connected nonprofits known as NGOs. The scheme, executed through the Inflation Reduction Act's Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund, effectively locked these funds beyond the reach of the incoming Trump administration. The move established a financial pipeline and loophole designated to perpetuate progressive climate and equity initiatives without democratic oversight. Enter the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, spearheaded by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, formerly. With support from EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, DOGE's mission is to expose and dismantle waste, fraud, and corruption at every level of the government. Reclaiming this $20 billion from Citibank and the NGOs is the first major battle. The entry provides an in-depth look at the heist while it matters and how DOGE, alongside Musk, can crush it. The heist, broken down, is this: the mechanism. The EPA funneled the $20 billion into those accounts. These funds are shielded from Treasury oversight and effectively untouchable without congressional intervention. The timing, the allocation, was rushed through in the final days before Trump's January 20th, 2025 inauguration, minimizing oversight and ensuring entrenchment. The beneficiaries, the 8 NGOs controlling the funds, have deep Democratic ties. Here are the numbers. As I promised you, remember, this is what we talked about a week ago, and I told you that there were some missing numbers and some missing receipts and some blank spots. Well, here are some of the things that are missing. The beneficiaries are the Climate United Fund, $6.97 billion, linked to Self-Help Ventures Fund, a Democratic-aligned lender. The Coalition for Green Capital, $5 billion, led by former Obama-Biden officials pushing a national green bank agenda, along with the New World Order. Power Forward Communities, $2 billion, backed by progressive housing groups like Habitat for Humanity and LISC. Opportunity Finance Network for $2.29 billion, Inclusive Network for $18.7 billion, Justice Climate Fund for $940 million, Appalachian Community Capital for $500 million, Native CDFI Network $400 million, all tied to Democratic campaign finance operations and electoral battleground states. The mastermind is Jahi Wise, a former Biden EPA official. He designed the program, raising major self-dealing red flags as his associates scored billions in grants. The structure of this: the funds operated as revolving loan programs, meaning they generate perpetual cash flow, ensuring that progressive initiatives remain funded for decades regardless of election outcomes. Why this matters: it's not just about the $20 billion, of course, it's about dangerous precedent being set. Government outsourcing by parking federal funds in private banks and NGOs, the administration created a shadow policy network that defies Democratic oversight. Fraud, waste, and corruption: the scheme checks all 3 boxes. They were deceptively allocated under climate action, but instead fortify a political network. The waste: taxpayer money was funneled into unaccountable private hands with no transparency on spending. Biden-linked officials and donors benefited directly, weaponizing the government funds for partisan entrenchment. DOGE's mission on this is being called Operation Cash Grab Smash. Very Elon Musk. Armed with Musk's aggressive transparency and Zeldin's policy enforcement, it's uniquely positioned to destroy the scheme. Here's the plan. Phase 1 is called Bloodhound Blitz. First 60 days, February through March 2025, they will audit and oversight. DOGE deploys the Inspector General and the Government Accountability Office, the GAO, to investigate every step of the EPA Citibank deal. Target will be Jahi Wise's role, his Citibank's fees, and the NGO financial conflicts of interest. They will subpoena Citibank and EPA officials, demand all email records, contracts, and financial statements from the EPA, Citibank, and NGO in an effort to seize the funds back.
So essentially, Joe Biden just stole $20 billion in his last few days of the presidency just because.
That's correct.
Awesome. And he's such a,
such an honorable man.
Oh yeah, moral.
Totally. Moral high ground.
Totally. So do you think people are going to jail?
No, because people don't go to jail in Washington. I'm hoping with this group it will. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing that's going to change the corruption in DC is if people are starting to be held accountable.
Sure.
That's
Both-
the only
both
way it's
sides.
going to change. Both sides.
Both
yeah.
sides.
I don't care if you got an R or a D in front of your name. If you've done something corrupt and it's found out, you need to be held accountable for it.
Right.
And plain and simple. I don't care that why do we have to follow the rules and they don't?
Well, and people are like, it's only $20 billion. Are you kidding me? Do you know how many homeless people they can take off the street? Do you know what that looks like, applying that toward next year's budget, what that could mean for our deficit? I mean, a lot of people are making no big deal. They're like, oh, this is only $50 billion. Are you kidding me? Putting it another way, it's 1/20th of a trillion. That's a lot of money. It's a drop in the bucket. You find it in the couch cushions. No, $10 million
Dude,
is
if I
couch.
could find $20 billion in my couch cushions, I'd be living on a private island
10
somewhere.
million for the U.S. government is a drop in the bucket. Okay, 20 billion, 50 billion is a lot of fucking money. Okay, I want you to understand that. There was a time that the VA was run on $72 billion. That's a lot of money to run the VA for a year. There was a time our Defense Department was hovering over about 126 billion. That's a lot of money. So I care that the President of the United States is taking $20 billion. I mean, do you guys understand the Federal Reserve, is not controlled by the president? Why is the president allocating money to secret slush funds? I mean, this is just like Burisma. This is just like pallets full of cash. I mean, this is just what these people do. Is people need to start going to jail.
Yeah, people are like, oh, 20 billion, it's drop in the bucket. Well, I mean, every penny counts. That 20 billion and then 50 billion here and then 10 billion here. It all adds up. You can't say, oh, it's just this, because
I know.
It'll add up. I mean, he's trying to bring down the deficit. He's trying to, I don't think they're ever going to get a balance, but they're trying to bring it down.
No, they won't. But you can balance the budget. I mean, that's the key. You can stop adding to the debt by balancing the budget. And you need a surplus. You need to not overspend your revenue. You need to make sure the economy and the GNP is strong, and you get a 3.5% to 4% yield on your overall GNP, and you will have a net positive budget. And that will go to the bottom line. And it may take 50 years, because it's kind of like being fat. You don't get over it overnight. It took a year, 3 years, 4 years, or a lifetime to put on. It's going to take the same to get it off. People will go to prison when they can actually. The problem is everybody's dirty.
Yeah,
that's the issue. But what does Trump have to hide? He's already the most vetted, investigated, and prosecuted man on the planet. Just have at it. And if you lose some Republicans, so be it. At this, Yeti.
I think she missed me. What do you think?
Yeti.
It's mommy time.
Cat. So that's my point. That's my point. It's just, it's only going to take one. It takes one, and the rest will fall. That's it. JD Vance torches CNN. Something that, listen, I don't think Trump loves JD Vance. Okay, I'm just letting you know.
He was a means to an end, I think.
I think he was too. Now, surprisingly enough, Trump loved Pence up until J6, but he got along with Pence, not like he gets along with Elon Musk. Like, I think if he could find a way to skirt the Constitution and have Elon Musk run as vice president, he would find a way. If he could run again, Elon Musk would be his VP. They get along like good friends.
They're like besties.
And JD Vance and him get along, but Trump went with Vance because of Vance's credibility with other Republicans. That's why. And it gave him the Project 2025 guys. And that's just the truth. It gave him the establishment Republicans. But so did Pence. But I got to say, what I do hear from JD Vance, I do like. Here is at CPAC, and he takes some digs at CNN, and he's getting comfortable in his own skin. Here's the video. Take a listen and tell me what you think.
I don't even think we can keep track of all the things you all are doing.
Doty says, I think Vance is doing an awesome job. Yeah, but what does that mean, right? What does it mean? Is he great at the talking points? Is he visiting? Yeah, he's doing all that. But as far as impacting agenda, he's made some good votes. He's gotten the Republicans rallied. I'm not questioning what he's done as VP. I'm telling you from a relationship standpoint of him and Trump, you don't see the relationship that he and Elon Musk have the same as JD Vance. That's all I'm saying. I think JD Vance is doing a fine job. He's got all the confirmations. He's rallied all the Republicans to get the votes to get Trump's confirmations faster than ever in history. Those are good things, right? I'm just telling you the way it comes off with him and Trump. Here it is.
In fact, I don't even think the press can keep track of all they're doing. I mean, they talk about the shock and awe strategy. Seriously. So when you're looking at this list after list after list, what stands out to you?
Well, speaking of the press, I do think that we've had maybe more executive orders than CNN has.
Deborah says he hasn't been there long enough. Well, Donald Trump's been there for 30 days, and he's done more than any other president in U.S. history in 30 days. I want to see Vance doing the same thing. I want Vance to start pushing forward with legislation, and that's what he is going to have to do. He is going to have to whip the House and the Senate together to get them to rally around Republican legislation. Folks, we have a huge vote coming up on the spending bill in April. We have got to get the tax code passed. We've got to get a bill put together. So I understand when we say he hasn't been there long enough. I don't care. Move faster. I told you folks, I'm not going to be all rainbows and kittens on this administration. I think we need to fire the ICE director right now. And I'm not talking about Tom Homan, but I'm actually talking about the director of ICE. He needs to be canned. They need to be deporting 1,000 times more than they are.
Who is he? He's not part of the cabinet, is he?
No, he's not a cabinet. He's an actual position. He's the one that ran the raid in Colorado, and they've had the leaks. But I want deportations up. I want to see an increase of 1,000% over what Joe Biden was doing. Right now, we're not even hitting what Joe Biden was doing on deportations. I want to see that happen. I want to see some actions on the cartel. You guys, there is no time to waste. We're going to be in midterms by the time we can blink. Okay, it's going to be Christmas. You guys, I hate to say this to you, it's almost March.
Yeah, February's going quick.
It's almost March, y'all. You're I know that seems like it's crazy, but we're going to wake up tomorrow and it's going to be Christmas again. And then you're going to start hearing about midterm seasons. So if we lose the House and the Senate and we don't get things done, you've got to get the energy independence going. You've got to get people drilling again. You have got to go ahead and start seeing some grabbing of inflation, which is going up, and we knew it would. But that energy independence that he's been screaming about, we've got to take care of. He's got to solve this problem with Ukraine and Russia and get this shit put to bed. That's going to drive energy prices down. These are the things that need to take place. It's time to go. We don't have time to wait. I don't want to hear he hasn't been there long enough. Too fucking bad. Get to work. We've got bills ready to go in April. Hey, you got taxes coming up and you're going to pay out the ass, y'all. Child tax credit has expired. The COVID relief was expired. You're going to pay it out the ass this year in taxes. So we need to see some movement. I don't want $5,000. I want that to pay down the debt. We have to stop going towards this fiscal cliff of $50 trillion. Let's go. All right. Do I think they're giving real numbers of deportations? Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
He's all about transparency.
I do believe those are the numbers. And he's not happy. He came out and said it today. They're not happy with the numbers. They're not happy with the performance. That's why they want to get rid of this ICE director. 30 days. I respect it. But you know what? The first 100 days are the most important days of any presidency. Trump is slaying. I want J.D. Vance in the House and Senate. I want to hear the work on the bills. Listen, if you think passing executive orders are going to solve our problems, it's not going to. It will get us a lot of flashy traffic and get us votes. But what it will not do is without law, without the purse strings, without going after health and human services, without going after the defense budget, and without going after Medicare and Social Security and finding a way to reduce the fraud in all three branches, we're not going to make a dent. Let's go. Let's go. You've got 14 months. Then it's election season, and then nobody's going to pass anything. You maybe have 1 or 2 appropriations bills passed, maybe 2. More than likely, just 1. I mean, go look back on the history of the Congress and all of the classes of Congress. They may pass in a 2-year session 1 major bill. We don't have time to waste. Wouldn't it be easy for many illegals to hide in places when the area of U.S. is over 100,000 square miles? But see, this is the problem. We need to be putting pressure on the federal jail systems and the state jail systems. We should be going into those states and saying, we're going to federalize your prison so we can get a list of names against criminals and deport them. Either you force these states to start working for us and releasing these names so we can do low-risk raids into prisons and picking these guys up when they get clinked for a DUI. Well, that's the problem. It's the sanctuary cities. So hold their funding. You want to get compliance, make it about money. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's not personal, but J.D. Vance is doing fine when it comes to being on stage and towing the line. But I want to see him start leaning against the House, the majority whip. Let's go ahead and make sure Thune continues to do his job, or Cornyn does his job. Make sure that you've got the Freedom Caucus online. Have you talked to the 21 people in the Freedom Caucus, including Eli Crane? Have you made sure that Massey's on board, who vetoes every Republican bill and doesn't sign anything, has a 51% freedom rating, even though people think Massey's amazing? Are you going to ensure that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert aren't going to go the way of Kevin McCarthy and vote with the neocons like they did when it came to his ouster? Do you have people in line? I want to see it. Let's go. Let's get this stuff done. Here's the rest of the video.
Viewers each night. So hello to our friends at CNN. I actually think that their plan was they were going to go all in on anti-Trump and hope that he could save CNN in the same way that he did, frankly, in 2017, because nobody really watched the network until he became president in 2017. But that's maybe the one thing I think the president has been unable to save the CNN's ratings over the last few months. But look, I think that what the president has tried to do is recognize that we have a historical mandate on a few issues. We have to secure the southern border, and thanks to his actions, border crossings are down well over 90%, and we're just getting started. He recognizes that we have to really unlock the engine of American growth. We've got to get back to having a growing economy that creates good jobs and high wages for the American people. And a lot of that goes back to drill, baby, drill. We've done more on energy under President Trump's leadership than I think any administration in history, and that's not an exaggeration. And of course, we're going to do more. And then I think the third thing that he's tried to do, of course, with the help of Elon and all the great folks at Doge, is ask, what are we doing with all of the American taxpayers' money, and why are we wasting so much of it on garbage that the American people either aren't aware that we're spending it on or don't want to be spending it on in the first place? Right. Like, for example, the stuff that we've figured out, Mercedes, is unbelievable. Why are we spending money on progressive modern art projects centered around toilets in Afghanistan? That's actually something that your tax dollars were funding until very recently. And I think all of us are sitting around and asking, what the hell have we been doing with the American people's money for the last 4 years? Let's turn off the spigot and spend the American people's tax money on the American people's priority. And that's, of course, been a big focus of the administration.
Now, listen, I'm going to say something that's unpopular. And I don't care, because I've always told you the truth. If you think Republicans didn't know that this was going on, you're insane. Okay, so I hold them just as accountable for this. Both parties have frivolously spent money since Kennedy. They're all responsible for this, and Republicans are responsible for this as well, including Donald Trump, who spent way too much. I understand it was COVID. I understand all that, blah, blah, blah. Here's the start to your $20 billion couch cushion find, Suzanne. Thank you. That will help. That'll start it. My point is it's nice to hear JD say this, but he was a part of the problem. It's nice to hear Republicans toe the line, but I don't care about that. I want to see legislation, because this is where the Republican Party fails. We say things really cool on CPAC and CNN and Fox, but what we don't do is actually do it when it comes to the House and the Senate and passing meaningful legislation. I don't know if you remember the last 2 years of running the House, but we didn't do shit. We did nothing. We essentially blocked everything, which is fine because that is doing something. But let's be transparent here. There's a history of a uniparty inside the House and the Senate. And until we start passing meaningful legislation, I don't care how many executive orders Donald Trump's writes, the next president that comes in is going to veto the shit out of those with new executive orders, and the dance will continue. This is why Biden's entire legacy was dismantled within 3 days. The entire Obama administration's legacy was dismantled in the first 30 days. We have to hold these people accountable, and let's stop. I know it's nice because we have the headlines and it's cool owning libs and all, but fuck that. I want to go ahead and stop paying so much in taxes. I want to stop giving up 45% of what I do on this show to the American government. I'm sorry. I have to give up 45% of what I make on this show to the U.S. government because it's considered a bonus. Does that sound right to you folks? Because it's a tip? Because it's a donation, I got to pay that much as a bonus? It's not cool. And I know you're not okay with it too. You guys are taking it in the shorts.
I've got a question for you. The no tax on tips, would
it hasn't been passed yet. No.
I know, but would the donations count for that?
I've already talked to our accountant, and she said that she was like, that's a very interesting idea. And I said, because if it says specifically to food service, but if these are classified as tips, then all I would have to do is ensure that every single donation that we get, I contact everybody and say, can you please go ahead and give me a qualification? Was this a tip? And when we do, we could qualify it as a tip. And then take off the word donate and just go thedumbshow.com/tips. And as you know, it's all about the vernacular. But I got to find out. Usually it's held to the food service industry and stuff like that, and cash transactions. But credit cards make up pretty much 90% of people's tips anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyway, so something to think about. Like I said, I'm not coming down on JD Vance. I just don't see that their relationship is... JD Vance needs to be a bulldog. And he needs to be going out there and whacking fools. And he should be... He did it with the confirmations. I'm very proud of him. He's doing a great job. Now, it's time to get legislation proposed. There's a $360 billion bill that's on the table right now. They need to get that passed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. As someone said, hey, they wanted to see the mayor of Maine. We did that already. I apologize. We will be right back.
Join wimkin.com, the social media platform built for free speech and true connection. No censorship, no algorithms controlling your feed, just genuine conversations and a commitment to protecting your rights. Sign up today at wimkin.com and take back your voice. Tell them Matt and the Dumb Show sent you.
What do you think of JD, Liv?
I don't know enough about him to really have an opinion. I mean, he's flashy and he says a lot of neat, fun things when he's been on TV, but I don't know enough about him. And honestly, it's not the flashy things you say, it's what you get done. So until he starts accomplishing something, I'm not really going to have much of an opinion on him.
He did a great job with the confirmations. I mean, I'm not kidding. That's the fastest 24 that have been ever confirmed in presidential history. And they were some of the most contentious picks ever. So we got to give him that. I mean, he whipped the Republicans in shape, and he will continue to do it. I've got a good feeling about him. I just want to see him. I like Elon Musk, but I didn't vote for Elon Musk. I voted for Vance and Trump. I want to see Vance and Trump locked at the hip. That's all I'm saying. Constitution of the United States was just ordered by Stephen. Ordered that. That's wonderful. Looks like we're going to have to find a way to get some more. Constitution of the United States with short biographies. Another one was ordered by Brian. Sherry came in and got the Documents of Freedom box set. And Sherry, I think this is the one you're going to get, which is my own personal one. Maybe. We'll see about that. But that's been ordered. And we've got another Constitution ordered. Someone in my neck of the woods in Virginia, and that was Glenn. So Olivia, I think she said that. So thank you, guys. Store's doing great tonight, and looks like we've sold all of our books. I'm going to have to maybe order another one. Hi, Ash. Hi, baby. Do you see me on the screen? I know. I'm right over here, and I'm over there. I'm right over here. Hi. She saw me in the screen.
And then she's
like, wait a second. He's over there, too. What the hell's going on?
I swear she's gained like 10 pounds. I weighed her a week ago. She was 24 pounds. I swear she's gained more.
What, baby?
That was a yawn, I think.
Hey, dummy. Over here. Hi. She's doing well. She's a good baby. She's a good baby. You want to pick her up again? She loves you. Go get mommy. Go get mommy now. Go get mommy. So she listens to everybody. She goes.
Oh, thank you.
Support her hips. Support her hips. She's not a cat.
Oh.
So this dog will all stand in like a circle, and I'll be like, "Go to mommy." She goes to mom. Go to brother. Go to brother. Go to sissy. She'll fall asleep right there. This is Ash. She is our Australian Shepherd, German Shepherd, Husky. She is very smart and very, very cool. And she is growing so fast.
That's my arm. You're using my arm as a chew toy.
Stop biting mom's arm.
No bite. No bite.
Stop biting mommy's arm.
Thank you.
So she's a love. All right, let's get to it. So you don't pass port. Little play on words. By the way, folks, if you have not had a chance, thedumbshow.com/donate. Would appreciate it. Thank you so much. TA has something to say. I want to see, TA, I haven't seen you around in a while, buddy. I want to see substantial legislation and constitutional amendments and the arrest of 100% of the DNC and around 60% of the RNC for treason, fraud, money laundering back to themselves and anything else we find. Let's find it first, right? I'm all about holding people accountable, but let's go ahead and find these things. We know what's going on, but we need proof, right? This is the problem. And this stuff is, here's what it comes down to. You've got to get the small things. Sherry has a question. What?
Sherry's got a what? I don't know.
I'll find it. But you got to get the small things, right? And start with the missing receipts, you know? Hit the things where people you know, are doing the fraudulent entries. Hit that. Let's get Pam Bondi on this. Like, I expect, I don't care about the Epstein file list. Yeah, release it. Great. Now go arrest people. Let's start putting some people in jail. Like, let's start doing what the DOJ should do and stop going after the American people and start going after the politicians, and let's get them put in jail. That's what I'm saying. That's what I want. That's just my thought. All right, let's go. You don't pass port. What am I talking about? Well, I'm going to show you. There is a video of well, I'll let you uncover what this is. What? Don't let her chew the cord.
Nope, she's not.
Oh my God. Do not chew that mic. We paid more for that mic than you, dog. No, I'm kidding. All right, here we go. Let's listen to this. Allergies are bothering me.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is not Taylor Swift.
I had to get this fixed and get it replaced with a real proper passport, which I went to the federal passport agency today in LA and did. I've had to do.
Elizabeth says, Matthew and Spear, you should charge by the plate of information so afterwards we can tip you. Now, how about you just tip the show when you're ready? Let's go. Yes, Ash agrees. How about you just tip the show when you're done? And if it's worth it, do it. And if you don't. People have taken care of us. We're good. I don't want to ever make it about money on this show. It should be free. And donations are simply because we do a good job and you want to see the show continue. She's got some allergies. Dad does too. They're already starting because my sniffles are coming. She's got some allergies. Here we go.
This one time before, no part of the process was different. I filled everything out just like I normally would. I put female, and when it was picked up today and I opened it up, they had changed the marker to male. And like, I want to acknowledge my privilege like not only as a like famous or like celebrity trans woman who is white and thin and can adhere to like contemporary beauty standards, and I can participate in all of that. And I pass, and it still happened. I don't give a fuck that they put an M on my passport.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
It doesn't change really anything about me or my transness. However, it does make life a little harder. Personally, I haven't tested it out yet. I'll find out next week when I have to travel abroad for the first time with my new passport. But I'm pretty sure it's going to come along with having to out myself to like Border Patrol agents and that whole gig much more often than I would like to or is really necessary. I just want to say, trans people are beautiful. We are never going to stop existing. I'm never going to stop being trans. A letter and a passport can't change that, and fuck this administration. And I don't really have an answer on what to do about this, but I feel it was important to share.
Oh, thank God she did. He. Liv?
Celebrity? I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And what does being thin have to do with anything?
And transness. Is that a word? Transness? Is that new? Is that a new
like
word?
Stick-to-itiveness, maybe?
Stick-to-itiveness, right. He cares a lot.
Well, it looks and sounds like female. I mean, I didn't see an Adam's apple, and that does not sound like a male voice.
No.
At all. I mean,
no.
Are we really sure that is a trans female?
I just want to know who cares. When you're going in the airport, has anyone looked at your driver's license and go, oh, that's really interesting. You don't look like a female.
They look at my picture and they go like this.
That's it.
And then they ask me a couple questions about what's on my driver's license, and that's about the whole thing.
Yeah. So basically what you wanted a fake passport. Well, that's illegal. It's a federal document. Can't do it. It's punishable by 25 years in prison, like a $375,000 fine. You can't falsify a federal document. I'm sorry, unless you're Congress. So we don't care. We don't give a shit. Suck it up. You obviously aren't that big of a celebrity because I don't know who you are.
Nobody knows who you are, so
I don't understand these. I don't understand. I still ask the question: if you can't accept who you are,
why do we have to accept?
Why do we have to accept you? If it's so difficult for you to accept who you are as a person, why do you expect us to do it? This whole thing, Steve, thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
Stevens, this is for Ash. We will give her a puppy treat worth certainly not $50, but she will. She got steak tonight, so she's got. I don't. Nobody's saying that trans people can't exist. We're saying stay the fuck away from our kids. Stay out of our schools. Stay out of teaching our children that they're white cock suppressors. Telling them that they can go ahead and lop off their genitalia or be chemically castrated. Stop that shit. Stay away from our kids. Otherwise, have at it. You have a full parade that you get to argue with lesbian and gay and bisexuals who don't believe you belong in their little movement. Because I don't know if you've actually talked to gay people, but they're a little sick of the trans movement, and so are we. Enough. You are an infinitesimal part of our population. And I hate to say this, but I care about as much as about Mormons and the Amish as I do about trans people. None at all. Okay? When you have a moral majority, or you're my neighbor, or something happens to my kids and they decide to go down that way, which I doubt they will, but if they do, I'll figure it out. I don't care. Just keep it away from our families. I don't want you talking about the white picket fence and them having kids and Handmaid's Tale either. It's not your fucking job. The birds and the bees are parents' responsibilities. Your job is STEM. Your job is to teach them how to do the basics of life through education and instruction and direction. You are not supposed to teach them what to think. You teach them how to think. We don't care that you exist. I couldn't care less that trans people exist. I don't care. When you make me care and learn 67 pronouns, then we have a problem. When I have got to pretend that my wife's femininity is somehow less than yours, we have a problem. That I have to somehow pretend that you could use a tampon and literally not have it be sexual stimulation, no. No, you don't have a period. You can't get pregnant. You are not a woman. And if you can do any of those things, you are a woman and you're not a man. It's not hard. Liv, anything else to talk about the passport person?
No.
Still don't know who she is.
No, not a freaking clue.
Can I tell you something else?
Yeah.
There was an Ipsos poll and a Gallup poll that came out today. 9.6% is what their estimation is of the LGBTQ community in the United States. Almost 1%, 1 out of 10 people are lesbian, gay, queer, transgender. And, great. But if we expect this population decrease to continue or to stop and get to a positive, it's not going to help when 1 out of 10 people don't want to have kids. That 2 out of 10 people are too young to have kids. That 2 out of 10 people are too old to have kids. And now you have 5 people who can have children inside the United States. And we haven't even talked about people who can't with infertility. We can't talk about people who just basically look like they hit the ugly tree all the way down and aren't going to get pregnant unless, like, literally they roll over and another person rollovers and it happens accidentally. We are limiting the equation to negative when we literally choose to sleep with the same sex. And there has to come a point where our government, that the people start saying, wait a second, if we don't have people and we're more people die than are born, more people illegally come into our country than were born last year, which is a fact. Is this a crisis? So this is why I have a sense of urgency. We're going to hit $50 trillion in debt. Our country's done. We continue the mass immigration and illegal immigration of people. We're going to lose our identity and lose our country like England is going to. We continue this depopulation that's happening. We're going to be Japan, which Japan is going to drop from 70 million, saying that they're going to hit a number of 32 within the century. That is an incredible number. It's an incredible, scary number. Sorry, baby. I just getting frustrated. JD says 11:11. Make a wish, everyone. What's that?
It's when it's 11:11 on the clock. It's supposed to be like make a wish. Like if you say something at the same time, it's jinx. Or if you run through a yellow light, you're supposed to like tap your hood of your car or whatever, the roof of your car. It's just one of those things.
Fair enough. Liv, I'm going to show you something you're not going to be okay with.
Okay, thanks for letting me know so I can brace myself.
Hamas did some things.
What haven't they done?
Oh, you're not going to like this one. How about bringing out the corpses of 2 dead babies and a mother and holding an event where everyone can see it, loading them up as hostage returns to Israel, and the mother is not the mother. It's a Gazan woman who's been dead, and they gave Israel the wrong body. Right after this.
The Dumb Store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction. We offer quality products like coffee, shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made by veterans. Shop with confidence, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews. Use code DUMB10 to save 10%. Visit thedumbshow.com today. Thank you for your support.
Yeah, I heard what Apple did. Apple is taking off the privacy and security feature in the UK so the government can actually spy on iPhones. This is something that will be a very big topic on Monday, and I am going to write a scathing letter as a former 5-year employee of Apple. And one of the reasons I left, this breaches everything that the company stands for. And the customer's privacy on Apple has been one thing that I have coveted, and why I use Apple products still to this day is because of the privacy feature and the fact that they are bowing down to a corrupt, tyrannical government in England, which is going to be a Muslim country in the next 10 to 20 years, the way they're going, is terrifying. Here is the Hamas segment. This makes me sick. God, why don't they just drop a just laser-guided bomb right in the middle of them? Yeah, that music's a little uplifting, isn't it?
I'm shocked that they're actually in a coffin or a box. I thought they would just... Hamas doesn't strike me as being having any type of humanity. So,
well, her name was Shiri Bibas, and Netanyahu has vowed retaliation, and has essentially just negated the ceasefire deal.
So there was a woman that was taken hostage with 2 babies.
Yeah,
and
they murdered the babies and murdered her, and obviously they did something to her corpse where they felt that they couldn't return it. And sent a Gazan woman instead in her place. They ran a DNA test, and the DNA test was negative. You could just drop a bomb right in the middle. Why didn't they kill every single person there? Why wouldn't you kill every civilian there too? I don't understand. So screw a ceasefire. You've got 100 Hamas soldiers there. Kill them all.
Yep.
What are you doing? Get to work. Oh, well, there's civilians there. I don't give a shit. They're not civilians. If they are celebrating this, if they are there filming this, if they are there celebrating this, if they're watching this, kill every one of those people. I don't understand. I mean, you have hundreds, if not thousands, of Hamas soldiers there. I'm so tired of this.
I'm so tired of people having sympathy for them.
Oh, they're pieces of shit.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyone who has sympathy.
Oh, Jews are so bad. Oh, yeah, right. As they continue to be bombed over and over and over again by these people, and finally said enough's enough. It's just so tiresome. I can't stand it. I'm sick of how weak people are. And we have been fighting wars and fighting battles for a long time. Elizabeth donated. This is your tip for the plate of information you served tonight. Wanishi and Miss America says woof. Hi to Ash. That must be Elizabeth Puppies.
Yep.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm not a heartless person either, but every single 91% of the adult population in Gaza believe Jews should be eradicated from the earth. Okay. Annihilate them. Just take them out. I'm done. But if I was an operator and I had full joy, I'd laze that target and I'd have killed every single person there, civilian and otherwise. And I would have slept like a baby that night. Oh, there's women and children there. Fuck them. They're enemy combatants. If you're watching little babies and a fake corpse that's been defiled and you're supporting that, you don't deserve life. You folks, anyone who's been over to the Middle East knows. Anyone who's spent any time in the sandbox knows that these people don't give a rat's ass about you. They don't give a rat's ass about me. They don't give a shit about kids. They don't give a shit about anything. They give a shit about meeting Allah. They don't care about their wives. They care about fellow Muslims only when they don't hate Jews or when they're hating Jews. Once they have Jews to run out of, they kill each other. I'm not against the Muslim people. I'm against terrorists. These guys are terrorists. I'm a little sick of it. Trump needs to get this shit ended. Let's get him released. Let's get out of this. Let Israel do its job. And looks like a mineral deal is going to be signed with Zelensky. He's talking all, tough, but he's going to balk. Let's get this done. Let's DMZ Donbass. Let's give them that 15, 16% of the country and call it good and move away from the table. We're done. We're done. I would have blown it up. That's a target-rich environment. Every single one of those people would have been gone. I would have turned that place into a crater. One Moab, you could solve a shit ton of pain. What about the children and women? You think we can get them too? Drop 2 Moabs. That's what I think about the women and children. If you don't have this mentality to terrorists, you're losing. You're done. You're done. You have, unfortunately, they want you to play by their rules. They want you to be civil. And they will be evil. And I will say it, and anyone who's been over there will tell you this. Evil is the only thing that kills evil. It's not good. Good doesn't work against these fucking people. They have no morals.
They do not. And they're taught since they are old enough to walk who to hate.
Celtic Spirits Coven says you should be against Islam because that religion mandates that you become Muslim or die. Get more brave. It's kind of hard when you're hiding behind a fucking name like Celtic Spirits Coven to question what I've done or believe or what I've said.
Unless they're talking to somebody else.
It's hard to believe that he's not. Or it or she or whatever. They, them. It's not about bravery. All Muslims don't need to die. And if you believe that, then you've never spent any time over there. Because I can tell you hundreds of Afghanistans, tens of thousands of Afghanis who are good people.
I know several Muslim people.
I have no problem with the Muslim people. I have a problem with extremists. And there's some things in our book that I'm not too proud of either. I don't want to stone my mother, okay? I don't want to sell my daughter into slavery. I don't want to go and have to murder my wife because she touched a football on Sunday. Yeah, sorry. If my brother plants crops side by side, it's okay if I shoot him in the head. Yeah, there's some things that I don't necessarily agree with when it comes to most organized religions, but I think it was a different time. And whether it's Judaism or Muslim or Christian or Orthodox or whatever it would be, that a lot of those lessons were taught because we were godless people. And I don't think it practically applies to today necessarily. Evening, Jesus says $5. So I don't think it's about bravery. I don't think hating all Muslims, just like hating all Jews, is brave. But I do believe that if you are a part of Hamas, if you're a part of Hezbollah, the Houthis, the IRGC, the PJB, whatever it is, you have one end, and that is complete eradication. I didn't say kill the innocents. Even in the fog of war, we can see the innocents. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? There are no innocents when it comes to terrorism. And anyone who is at that event is a terrorist. Anyone who is supporting dead bodies of kids coming out, any people who film and use dead children to blame stray Israel munitions or anything else, when these terrorists hide amongst the civilians and use them as shields. We saw this in Iraq. We saw this in Bosnia and Herzegovina. But we saw it in Mosul. We saw it in Kenya. We saw it in Egypt. This isn't anything new. This is what these guys do.
If Hamas wouldn't have gone into Israel and kidnapped these people, then there would be no hostages to return. It's not Israel's fault. It's Hamas's fault, and they all need to go. And it's not like this didn't happen over a year ago, and it's not like Israel didn't give plenty of warning and said, we're coming in, get out by this time, and if you stay, then you're part of it. It's not like they haven't had time to get out. Anyone who is in Gaza wants to be there. They're not leaving for a reason. Plain and simple. And if there is children there, I'm sorry, because they're going to grow up and they're the next generation of terrorists and they're going to do the same thing.
That's exactly what it is.
So they might be innocent now, but they're not going to be.
You know, there's nobody here who cared about the Iraqis, 372,000 that America killed. Give me a break. You don't give a shit about people. You don't care about Gazans. You fucking hate Jews. That's the problem. And that's always been the problem. Who's here?
She's talking to Ash.
What's she doing, Hayden?
She's barking at the kitty. Oh, the cat was in here.
All right. We've had this conversation. It's a convenient way for people to hate Jews. That's all this is. Nobody cared about Iraqis. Nobody cared about Afghanis. Nobody cared about the Kurds and the Shiites and the Sunnis. Nobody cared about the Afghanis that were being slaughtered by Russians when we were funding the Greeks. Nobody cared. So let's stop pretending. Let's stop pretending that we care about Gazans, a nomadic people. A nomadic, the cat, oh, Hayden's pissed. The cat did something bad. Whoops.
Uh-oh, what did she do?
Take her.
What did she do?
She won't stop messing with her.
Oh, she's instigating it.
Sleeping fine.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Casey got on the phone. He was attack.
All right, go. Off subject, 4.8 magnitude earthquake reported north of Vancouver, British Columbia. Meh. I don't get out of bed for a 5.
What was the one in Baco?
Oh, that was like 4.2. There's nothing. Nothing. I don't get out of bed for anything above 5.5. Hamas said they will do it again and again, so get rid of them. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm just done. But I don't hate all Muslims, just like I don't hate all Jews, or I don't hate all, Germans. We advocate against the evil cult religion of Islam. There are many bad people. No shit, there's many bad people. There's many bad Christians, too. So what? That's what happens when you have almost 1.5 billion people who follow a religion that's older than anything in the United States. You're talking a religion that's 3,000 years old. They've been fighting amongst each other for a lot longer than we can even conceptualize. There are some good people who are heretics against. That argument is such a lame argument. How do you know your religion's the right one? There's over 247 organized religions around the world. How do you know you're the right one? So all of them are going to hell? All of them are going to burn in hell? Ash requested beef jerky, the Kevster. Maybe. We'll see. She got some steak tonight. So let me make sure I get this straight. Every single religion is going to hell minus yours? What if it is that the English language and human minds can't conceptualize God? So we've all done it in our certain way, and the communication has come down through Mount Sinai and the tablets, and through the Red Sea, and through song, and through different languages, and been translated over and over and over, and everyone has their interpretations. But the meaning of it is true, of living a good life and loving your neighbor and following the basic rules of man and trying to earn your way into paradise or Valhalla or heaven or where Shangri-La or wherever it might be. But maybe the real judgment is your judgment of others simply because they are not the same religion as you. I mean, isn't that awful sacrilegious in itself? I didn't think it was your right to judge other people. I thought that was our Lord and Savior's job. I didn't think we had the right to impede people's integrities and their indignities. I don't know. I'm sure I read that somewhere about religion. So when you say a heretic, he also warned us of false prophets, and your comments seem to be thus. I don't know. Pretty judgy for a Christian. Just my opinion.
Ginger had a good question.
What did Ginger say?
So what is Trump going to do now that Hamas didn't abide by the Saturday at noon deadline to return the last of the hostages?
That's the problem. He shouldn't have made that comment unless he was willing to back it up. And now he looks impotent unless he does something, right? Because he threw it back on Israel. See, Donald Trump, when he talks tough, he needs to back that up, right? Mm-hmm. There should have been some retaliation on Saturday. They should have hit several different tunnels. They should have struck a proxy, something. But saying he'll back by Netanyahu's decision isn't quite hell on earth, is it? It's not quite all hell will break loose. If you say all hell's going to break, I told you what all hell would break loose would look like. Yeah. And none of that took place. So it makes him look a little impotent. He's got to back up what he said. And, you know, it takes one well-placed Moab to send a very clear message to Hamas. Yeah, but that's not all hell breaking loose. Didn't they kill one of the Hamasaki leaders? Hamasaki. Yeah, but that's not all hell breaking loose, is it? We've killed plenty of leaders. Anyway, folks, we got a couple of other things to do. I stalled a little bit because we were way ahead of schedule. And it's probably because I'm exhausted. Olivia's exhausted. It's been a super long freaking week, but good enough to have you. And Coven, I'm not. I don't know what point you're trying to make. Is that inherently are Muslims evil people? No. I have many friends and people who I would call brothers who are Muslims, and I have no problem with any of them. And they've done no harm to me. I've done no harm to them. And then there is a group of Muslims who are extremists who deserve to be eradicated from this earth. And that's every one of them. Muslims who are against Islam, they might be able to be reached. There's no judgment here, just an observation. Yeah, but your observation is without... How many Muslims do you know? How many do you know? Have you been to Afghanistan? Have you been to Iraq? Have you been to Israel? So that's my question. I mean, how many Muslims do you really know? And if you do know them and you have hatred in your heart for them, it's because then you've run across some of the most terrible kinds. So why are you hanging out with terrorists? Unless you face them in battle, because you question my bravery is what it seemed to be. So if you're questioning my bravery, I'm just going to go ahead and question yours. What have you done? You know what I mean? So I don't mind you questioning. I mean, that's fine, but be prepared to have that turned around on you. How many Muslims do you know, and how many battles have you been against extremists, and where? You know what I mean? Just a thought. Anyway, moving on. Denver live the lower ring of hell.
Oh, boy.
But first, something about IVF. What would you do in this situation? I want your opinion on this. I really want to pick your brain. I want you to listen to it first, and then you tell me what you think.
The actions of the fertility clinic have come very close to destroying me, have left irreparable damage to my soul, and ultimately left me questioning whether I should be a mom or not. The moment you give birth and welcome your baby into the world is supposed to be this profound, beautiful, and life-altering experience. All of the emotional and physical pain and sacrifice associated with pregnancy and preparing your entire life to welcome a child are worth it when the baby is placed in your arms, where they should stay forever. My birth story is nothing like what any could ever anticipate. It is riddled with shock, confusion, fear. The birth of my child was supposed to be the happiest moment of my life, and honestly, it was. But it was also the scariest moment of my life. I spent my entire life wanting to be a mom. I loved, nurtured, and grew my child, and I would have done literally anything in my power to keep him. My baby is not genetically mine. He doesn't have my blood. He doesn't have my eyes, but he is and will always be my son. To carry a baby, to fall in love with him, to deliver him, to build that uniquely special bond between a mother and a child, all to have them taken away. I'll never be the same woman. I will never fully heal or completely move on. And part of me will always long for my son and wonder what kind of person he's becoming. Coastal Fertility Clinic has hurt me in ways that I have yet to discover. And there are literally no words or unit of measure that can describe the damage that they have caused. My hope in sharing my story is that this will help prevent this from ever happening to anyone else trying to start a family of their own.
So, what happened?
I'm going to assume that that baby is the one that she gave birth to, and they used the wrong eggs.
Woman launches lawsuit after giving birth to a black baby that wasn't hers thanks to an IVF mix-up. Georgia woman Christina Murray is suing fertility clinic after carrying another couple's baby through birth. Murray didn't find out about the mix-up until she gave birth to a baby that was completely different skin complexion than her. The birth of my child was supposed to be the happiest moment of my life. We heard what she said. Murray gave up custody of the child after 5 months to the biological parents. The woman hoped it was just a sperm mix-up, but DNA testing proved the baby had no relation to her. I walked in a mom with a child and a baby who loved me and was mine and then was attached to me, and I walked out of the building with an empty stroller, and they left with my son, she said, after giving the baby up.
So my question on this is, did she willingly give up the child to the parents?
Sounds like biological
or
parents.
Or did the biological
forced
parents know this happened and sue for custody?
Yes, they forced it.
How in the world did the biological parents figure that one out? That's what I want to know.
Well, it would be found in discovery in the case, right? The moment that baby was an African American, that woman probably started making inquiry. The hospital would then go ahead and collect records. She would sue for the records, and then this would all be uncovered in discovery. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that's pretty.
What would you do? What? I mean, your baby's son was almost black, considering that his fifth appendage when we saw him on the ultrasound reflected his father. But what would you do if all of a sudden, like, say you got pregnant and we had to go through in vitro or whatever, and you had a black child, but it wasn't your child because it wasn't a sperm mix-up, it was eggs. They put the wrong eggs in her, which legally those eggs belong to
the other people,
the other mother, so they have a claim too, even though and precedent would probably be that, yes, you carried it as a surrogate. Okay, somebody just ban this fucking guy. Just ban Celtic. Anyone who has Celtic spirits and coven in your fucking name, you're probably a fucking Satanist anyway and a douche plow. Go fuck yourself. The Celts were a bunch of fucking cocksuckers. Get him out of here. Just, you know what? I got it. Fuck this. Okay. Fuck this fucking asshole.
Yeah, I saw that.
Fuck you. Fuck you and your stupid fucking comments.
Thank you.
God, you're not even a fucking godly person. Judgmental cocksucker. You don't even know any Afghans. Don't say you didn't answer the question, you prick. Sorry, I don't, you know what? Listen, I got my own problems with Afghani people. And there were some real shitheads there, but I don't have, Thomas said second-class citizen. I was never treated like a second-class citizen, ever. Ever. As much as I was a second-class citizen in Japan, when I walked on the subway, they never had to pack my section because they were afraid of the Gaijin barbarian. I mean, there's cultural strange scenarios everywhere. South Korea is not the most inviting place in the world. You ever been to Malaysia? You ever been to Kuala Lumpur? Fucking. Ever been to the Philippines? I mean, so I get it, but I was treated poorly in many other countries outside of Afghanistan. Go ahead, Liv.
I mean, I would be completely devastated. I mean, we were lucky enough to where we didn't really even have to try to have our children. It was like, okay, first time we're good, both kids. So we never had to go through any of the heartbreak about not being able to have children and having a miscarriage and then having to go through IVF and then, you know, it didn't didn't work. And yeah. And then this to happen. I mean, I know people who've been through IVF. I know people who've been through IVF and have been able to get pregnant through it and everything's great. I know people who've gone through it and were never able, the eggs never took, they were never able to get pregnant. But a lot of the times, I mean, how many times had they gone through this and how many times had,
well, right.
you know,
do you know what this open? Oh my God,
was
this whole
their
clinic.
last shot to have a child?
Yeah, but look at the clinic. I mean, imagine the discovery. You have to go through every single case now and test everybody. Because everybody and everyone has a lawsuit against it. I mean, this is huge. This is something you don't fuck with. This is like when they, you know, when they were doing abortions for people and they would sterilize women without telling them. Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, it is absolutely devastating. And I mean, I feel for that woman. I just want to give her a big hug through the computer. I mean, that is absolutely horrible. There is something about a mother's love for her children. And she, as a mother, I was in love with my children the moment I found out I was pregnant with them. I sang to them every morning. I would pat my tummy and I'd talk to them. And, you know, there's nothing I would do for my kids, depending on the day, though, with Hayden and how much she sasses back to me. That's a different story now. But
she can watch this one day.
But I love my children with no equivocation, and I would do anything for them. And I can't imagine how she feels. I mean, 9 months of planning that, and then it's not even your baby, and then regardless, she still has a mother's love for that child, and she was like, okay, I'm going to love this child anyway. And then he was ripped away. It is absolutely heartbreaking.
I'm not cutting you off for that. You had a black baby. What would you do?
I would absolutely question it, because I'd be like,
I know, but what would you do? Would you keep that baby and fight for that baby, or would you give him back to the natural parents? Oh, I would just be honest. Just be honest. Just say it. No one's going to judge you. But you're second guessing. I already know you. I know you so well. You want to say the right thing, but you just admit it. Just be honest.
I would want to keep the baby. I mean, if I carried the baby, regardless, I mean, regardless, it would be our child, even though it's not technically
fuck that.
our
I'm not
child.
having that little black son of a bitch in my house. I'm kidding.
But I mean,
of course. I'd be like, who did you fuck? What did you do? You know, but then after 5 minutes, I'd be like, wait a second.
And there wasn't anyone.
I know, but can you imagine being the husband and he's just like,
what the hell? You know,
what did you do? It was me all the whole time. But you would love that child. It doesn't matter.
I mean, when my school closed down and I didn't say goodbye to any of my kids, I was absolutely devastated. They're not even my own children. They were just children in my classroom. But I can't even imagine that. But this clinic's going to have some hell to pay. They're definitely going out of business, and there's going to be some issues. It's kind of like I think it was back in the 90s, early 2000s. I don't remember where it was, but it was a sperm clinic, and IVF and all that. And it turns out that the main doctor there.
Oh yeah, he was inseminating him, like 256 kids or 2,000 kids.
It was all his sperm. All the men that came in, he threw away that sperm, and it was his. No, he had like 1,500 children.
I know. That's what I just said. I just said that.
It was insane.
Guy's
he's in jail for a very, very long time.
Yeah, he's a horrible human being. Him and Bill Cosby. Tracy Frankovich, get a heating pad and put it on your injection site right after your injection. Don't do ice. They say don't do ice. Do a heating pad. It helps flow the steroid, and it stops a lot of the welts. Also, you want to rotate Tylenol every 4 hours with Advil. If you're weak on Advil, maybe you can take naproxen or something else. But you want to
getting what?
Hold on. You want to alternate the anti-inflammatory, because you will get a fever on the steroids. And the Tylenol will help with that fever. You want to make sure you do that. Second, injections are a Band-Aid solution to a permanent problem. So if you have spinal issues, it's something I've helped a lot of people on the show with. Stay off the medicine. Do not take, and if you're on it now, my recommendation is get off of it before any major surgeries, because the Demerol won't even work and you'll wake up screaming in pain. You need any advice? Tina is a good person as well. I don't know if you're talking to her, but Tina has been through some back surgeries. And then I had 16 different procedures done, along with a 3-level fusion and a discectomy and a spinal cord stimulator and many other things. So needless to say, if you need some advice on your back, this is a good place to ask some questions. Yeah, don't do ice. Real quick, JD says, thanks for allowing us to enjoy the show and each other. Happy Red Friday. Thanks, JD.
I thought you were done. I'm sorry. I didn't
No,
mean to
thank you,
interrupt
JD.
that.
I love you. Ice doesn't help. Ice actually constricts the blood vessels, and it actually, with an injection site, since it's a trauma, it makes the blood coagulate and creates bruising and hemorrhaging inside the injection site. So you want to use heat in order to blood flow, and then you can apply ice after 24 hours because the intramuscle will be sore. But you want to increase the flow of the steroid so it doesn't turn into a ball. Problem is because you have lower back pain, you can't rub it where you want to and rub it out, because that'll create more pressure on the degenerative disc disease or the slip disc or the bulging discs or whatever, sciatica. So you don't get to rub it out. And it's like when you get a shot in the butt, you want to sit on it and rub. Same thing with your back. So that heating pad helps. Don't do ice. It's a horrible decision. Don't listen to the doctors. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And don't go under the knife until you talk to me. Okay.
Maureen had a good question. Do they know where their egg or sperm is? That is another thing is, do they know? And what happens if, that was it? That's all they were able to do. I mean, and now they can't. I mean, it's.
Well, we should look it up. And Thomas seems to have a lot of information on this.
Yeah.
He's like a walking news. He posts news all the time that I even read, and then I get on the computer and follow up. I like shows like this where it's not rushed and I don't feel any pressure. By the way, we hit our goal. Great. We always want to overdrive. We thank you so much. It means the world to us, and you guys are rock star. We'll do some overtime because of it, but let's get into one of the final segments here real quick, and we'll be right back.
The Dumb Store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction. We offer quality products like coffee, shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made by veterans. Shop with confidence, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews. Use code DUMB10 to save 10%. Visit thedumbshow.com today. Thank you for your support.
Tracy, it's all about the core, not the Marine Corps, but the core. We're in overtime. It's all about the core. I've got some exercises that'll work for you. If you've got some middle, you want to work that off. Diet and exercise. I can help you with that. The person you see here with my exceptional big head, I'm pretty fit. I take care of my body. I've been working. I was nonstop for 7 years, 5 days a week. You can ask Olivia. I worked out during Christmas. But I took about 1.5 years off during COVID, and I put a lot of weight back on and just stopped taking care of myself. Well, I've been at it now for about 1.5 months, 2 months again, and definitely improving. But if you need help, I went from 480 milligrams of hydrocodone and oxy every day and losing a great job and almost losing my own life and turning it around. So if you need help, let us know. We're here for you.
Thomas Austin said, I'm looking at that, and they said, and they don't know, it may have been given to somebody else.
That's true.
That's another question is what happens if theirs was given to somebody else and it produced a child, her experiencing having to give up her child. Would she do that to somebody else to get her child?
I have no idea, but we should get to the hot chick who talks about Denver because this is what I've been waiting for.
Okay, gotcha.
So let's do it.
Denver, the Mile High City. Come for the mountains, stay because someone stole your catalytic converter and now you can't leave. Ever want to watch a city collapse in real time? Downtown Denver's got you covered. Take in the sights. There's a naked man fist-fighting a lamppost and a woman aggressively breastfeeding a pigeon. Don't forget the man selling authentic artisan copper wiring that just so happens to match the power outage on your block. It's vibrant, diverse, and it's definitely not safe. But don't just take in the sights, take in the stench of a city in ruins. The sidewalk? Repurposed into permanent housing. The bus stops? Those are now living rooms. Need to walk literally anywhere? Good luck dodging tents, human feces, and used needles. And we don't just have homelessness. We have a government-approved humanitarian crisis. 9,000 people living on the streets. And our government's response? Counting them once a year, and then ignoring it. Encampments pop up overnight. Just little pop-up shops, except instead of selling scented candles, they're selling your stolen bicycle. And we don't just have drugs, we hand them out. Last year, Denver distributed over 500,000 free needles. Because when faced with a deadly fentanyl crisis, the city's response wasn't treatment, detox, or intervention. It was making sure everyone had the proper tools to keep using. Fentanyl overdoses here are up 800% in the past 5 years. Over 1,000 people died last year alone. That's 3 people a day. But don't worry, the governor has a plan. More Narcan stations and free fentanyl testing strips. Because when people are dropping dead in record numbers, the best course of action is to make sure they can measure their poison before taking it. And if they overdose, no problem. Paramedics will revive them, hand them a fresh dose of Narcan, and send them on the streets to do it all over again. It's like playing whack-a-mole with human despair. Denver won't fight the crisis, but they will use your tax dollars to fund another bike lane. Because what the city really needed wasn't fewer deaths or safer streets. It was more space for people to swerve around bodies while riding e-bikes. So come on down and experience the Mile High City, where the crime is lawless, the leadership is clueless, and the only guaranteed trip is a drug-induced coma at Denver Health. Welcome home.
I had to check to see if she wasn't Leslie.
That's so funny.
Because I swear to God, she looked like her a little bit.
She does, really? I didn't see it.
I thought, well, just a little bit. The tattoos and everything else. It took a second glance.
That's pretty funny, and that's really, really sad that we used to live there. I wonder if it's spilled out into the west and into the suburbs.
I love Denver.
I did too.
I loved Denver. Hands down my favorite place to live in the States. I loved Denver. I loved going into the city because I never felt threatened.
I went downtown a lot by myself.
16th Street Mall, we'd walk. We'd go to the Avs game. Would love going to Taco de Mexico and going to Casa Bonita and going to that Trace Margaritas and getting our margarita that we loved and our queso dip that we loved and going up to the what's it called? The Buffalo. Remember in Evergreen, that place?
Oh yeah. I don't remember the name of it.
Was it something Buffalo? I
don't know, but it's where I had the elk meat, isn't it?
God, it was so good.
It was very good.
So good. Buffalo Trading Company and Benihana and go and listen to music and movies and God, the weather was gorgeous and the snow and it's beautiful and easy to get around town. God, they turned that place into a shithole. Some of the best memories of my life are in Colorado. I loved Colorado. You know, and I'm a California boy and Texas and Colorado, but I will never live there again. They have turned that into a shithole. It is a liberal shithole of epic proportions. I just can't believe it, how they destroyed that. And honestly, it really started with all of the damn drug use.
It's really, really sad that we've wanted to take the kids there for so long, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same place we lived. I mean, I'd love to take them up to Pine and Conifer and show them where we got married and our old apartments and stuff like that. But
you used to be able to open carry and you go to Boulder, which was hippie town, and everyone laughed at them. You know, oh, you go up to Boulder with the hippies. Now everyone's a freaking lib lab, and they ruin everything they get. Amy, the lady is advocating for false stigma against addiction. Not everything that addiction is an affront against you. These people are garbage. These are people who are are doing levels of crime and inside Colorado. And I'm sorry, but not every person who's an addict is a saint. Not every person who is an addict is a good person. There are some really shitty fucking addicts out there who perpetuate crime and who are disgusting, filthy human beings, and they are worthless to society. So I don't think she's talking about myself. I don't think she's talking about you. I don't think she's talking about any other addict. And as an addict, I feel comfortable in saying this. There's some shitty addicts out there, and they have no desire to do anything but to slowly whittle themselves away in their next high, and they don't care how they get it. Rape, kill, borrow, steal, whatever. So I grew up in this area. I grew up in Denver. I love Denver, and I've watched it being taken over by drug addicts and California rejects and gangs, and I don't have much empathy for those people. So I think it's okay for anyone to call out stuff like this, and I don't take a personal affront to it, but there are stigmas about drug addicts that deserve to be called out. It's like people who got mad at me for Amy Winehouse, and I'm like, I don't think Amy Winehouse is someone I want to emulate. I don't think Kurt Cobain is someone I want to emulate. I don't think Jimi Hendrix is someone I want to emulate. Were they talented musicians? Oh, most certainly. But I don't have to envy them because they destroyed and killed themselves over a terrible, addictive, and destructive thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's okay to call it out because I'm sorry, but if you're living in your own feces and you're shitting in the middle of the sidewalk and you're dropping needles, that's not a stigma. It's happening. I mean, this is real. San Francisco has been completely turned around. Bakersfield, Fresno. I mean, when I drove up to Fresno one time from Bakersfield, oh my God, it was horrible. So I think there's something different from losing someone from fentanyl or losing someone from a hot load or people who recreationally use who are poisoned. That's a different situation than somebody who's living on the street and literally just being a drag on society. I think those are two very different things. And I think that's what she's talking about. That's my opinion. Yeah, I'm a drug addict, Rachel. So, but there's a difference. Habitually being addicted to drugs and then turning into an addiction is very much different than, robbing or hurting people for your next fix or shooting up in a house or taking a shit in the middle of the street or, having sex with people when you have AIDS or what. I think there's a line we can draw that not all Muslims are bad, but there are some bad Muslims. Not all Christians are bad. There's some bad Christians. Not all teachers are Mrs. Rothamel from Little House on the Prairie, right? There's some bad ones too. Well, there are some good drug addicts out there. And there are some very shitty ones as well. And I think it's okay to go ahead and call them out. That's my opinion. Liv?
Yes.
Is there a dog at my feet?
No, not anymore. She left. She was just there, though.
That's how much time I've spent with her this week, is that I feel her when she's not there. Wrap it up, Liv. It's been a good week. I mean, we've got a lot. We are at any other donations? Are we good?
Yes, just got one.
Oh, we did?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's put that in, and I'll see if we have another video. Oh, I do. The same people who've been robbing us blind for decades are now begging us to fight so they can keep stealing our money. Here is Representative Aldelario, blue-haired Vulcan. Holy crap, Bobby Richard for Yenny. Love you, Yenny. Thank you, Bobby. So very nice of you. Thank you, everybody who donated. And also small donations tonight to people who don't have enough to give and give. Amy, that's an amazing thing. Elizabeth, that was an amazing thing. Hey, Seuss, $5 on Rumble. We recognize you, and it's not always. No, I didn't say Siri.
Did she?
but you guys mean the world to me. I really do appreciate the fact that even the small donations, yeah, it's nice to get big ones, but the small ones mean just as much because we know you don't have enough to give and things are tight and you still do it and it means the world to us. So thank you so much for taking that. And I know what Amy's saying. There's a lot of stigmas against drug users, and they get bad raps, and I get bad rap. People, when I was going through it, nobody wanted to help, but I don't think we're talking about that. We're talking about a little bit of a different situation. Anyway,
she's gonna kill the cat. Yenny has been a shit. Oh, she's been a shit though. She instigates. Leave her alone.
But look at Ash. She's worried. She's like, why is everyone hating on the cat?
I know you love her. Leave her alone. Yenny, you're wet. You've been doing dishes, haven't you?
Okay, we're going to press play on this, and then we're going to final.
Grants and loans. This freeze is an illegal, extreme, and chaotic power grab by President Trump that does nothing to bring prices down for families that are struggling with the high cost of living. In fact, he's going to make it harder for these families to get by. It takes money away from you and our communities rebuilding after disasters. Parents sending their kids to Head Start education programs. Dollars from veterans programs, their health and safety. Cuts to state and local law enforcement, police and firefighters. Families who receive food aid through SNAP or WIC. Shelters, soup kitchens serving the homeless, and cuts to the home heating assistance programs. I'm already hearing from constituents, from mayors, from first selectmen, nonprofits in my district, that they are unable to access funds they were legally granted.
Left the dog in here.
People are already suffering. The memo further asks agencies to place unqualified political cronies in charge of this process, pushing out experienced civil servants. This is a recipe for chaos. I, along with Senate Appropriations Committee Vice Chair Senator Patty Murray, have demanded that this decision be reversed. The president must immediately reverse course. This is not a political game. People's lives and livelihoods are at stake.
It's always amazing that they want to go ahead and stop the steal when they're the ones that are stealing. Liv,
Edna Mode.
What do you think?
What is she talking about? That's what I want to know.
That saving money and taxpayer money is going to destroy the entire world. For $1 billion, we can go ahead and have sharks with laser beams on their head. What, people? He's actually quite astute. I am trying to kill him.
The civil servants that wasted our taxpayer money, really?
Right.
They're totally civil servants.
Don't you love it? The people who muck it up want to solve the problem. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's like my mom coming back into my life and going, I just want to go ahead and help you with your stigmatisms against women and see if I can make you feel more comfortable. It's like you did the damage. And it's like the convicts running the jailhouse. What's her name, by the way? Fire the laser. Exactly. She's crazy. Side note on USPS, I calculated you can carry $150 million cash in a pickup truck. You would need 66 pickup trucks to carry money lost by the USPS this year alone. Mike, that's pretty good. What money for natural disaster? She voted to use that money for an invading army of illegals. She is, in the fact, a traitor siding with the illegals. He's fired up, man. He's fired up. The whole point is, these are the people that got us into this mess. Why are we listening to them? Why? I mean, people are like, oh my God, Elon Musk, they're going to go ahead and have our social security number. It's like, do you think that maybe these people are nervous? Because can I just say something to you? Can anyone tell me that they've never had a PayPal or eBay account? Is there one person who hasn't had Twitter, eBay, or PayPal?
I don't think I've ever had eBay.
You had eBay.
Did I?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You most certainly did.
Got it. Okay.
Well, if you've had any of those, Elon Musk already has all your information. So what are you worried about? Have you ever applied for a job? Have you ever applied for a credit card? Have you ever bought anything online? Have you ever had a phone? Have you ever put your thumbprint or your picture, unlock your phone? Your information is out there.
Here's the other thing. He's the richest man on the planet. What do you think he's trying to get from you?
Yeah.
I don't think he wants or needs anything from you. Plain and simple. What do you think he's trying to do?
He's trying to rule the world, brain.
Got
it. You guys don't even understand what the government's capable of. You don't have privacy. Privacy is an illusion. Mark, he just said it best. If you have a cell phone, all your information's already out there. That is so true. Never had eBay or Twitter have PayPal. Well, then Elon Musk has your information. None of you are marked safe. Every bit of information that you have out there. Yeah, if you guys had a Mac, I guarantee right now I have like 475 compromised passwords out there. I can't possibly change them all. There's not a password that I can think of that. So I have to have a device that changes all my passwords every minute so I don't get hacked. Do you know how much my Facebook site is worth? I was looking up how much 250,000 people are on a site with the amount of activity that we have, which is incredible. Holy shit. I'm really considering selling it. So privacy is an illusion. And if you trust the U.S. government with your information and not Elon Musk, what has Elon Musk ever done to fuck you over? But I can tell you plenty of stuff that the U.S. government's done to fuck you over. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Hey,
You've
Matt.
never paid taxes. It's there.
Right. They've got your DNA. They got your thumbprints. They got your birth certificate. They got everything. Hey, if you want a birth certificate, go get it from the government. You want your social security card? Go get it from the government. You want to go ahead and apply for a certain loan? You got to go through FDIC. You got to go through the government. Everything is through the government. You want to get a certain prescription, a medication, or a healthcare bill? FDA. You got to go through the NIH. You got to go through HHS. You want to file for unemployment? Got to go through the government. Everything's through the government. You want to get a fishing license? It's through the government, folks. You want to go buy a gun? Government. You want to go put an ad out in the paper? You got to show them an ID. Government. Everything's government. What are you worried about? These people have been screwing you. They got you by the short and curlies. Hey, Matt, are there still countries that are still refusing to take back their citizens from us? Yeah, everybody is. Otherwise, we would get rid of all the fucking Canadians in the United States. Did anyone find out the girl from last weekend has Elon's 13th child or not? She did. Yeah, Ashley St. Clair. It's real. It's not fake. It's true. Who is Thomas? Thomas Grunewald. You guys are ignorant. Elon Musk isn't the richest person in the world. Not even close. You're a fucking idiot. Yes, he is. You're literally a fucking moron. You're officially the dumbest fucking person I've ever met in my life. Thomas. Do I have to prove it to this douche plow? I'm going to have to prove it to this douche plow. Here it is. Who is the richest person in the world? Elon Musk is the richest person in the world according to the Bloomberg Billionaire Index. As of February 2025, Elon Musk is the richest person in the world with a net worth of billions of dollars.
How much?
I'll tell you.
I'm just going to call him Grindelwald.
Elon Musk is worth not unbelievable. He's almost $130 billion richer than the next guy, Mark Zuckerberg. $384 billion is what Elon Musk. Mark Zuckerberg is worth $236 billion. Bezos is $230.9.
Bezos was the richest man for quite a while.
Yeah, so you can suck me sideways. Beautiful. How about that? You're the most uneducated man. Do your research. Fucking tard. I'm not in the mood. It's fucking Friday. I'm not in the mood for idiots like you. Yeah, because Forbes is not a real magazine. You gotta do your research. Do your research. Educate yourself. I love guys like you. Never read a book in your fucking life. You don't even know who the richest person on earth is, and you're calling everyone else idiots. That's how much of a fucktard you are. Here you go, dipshit. That's from Forbes. See that? Elon fucking Musk. #1 in the world. Let's go ahead and look at your profile. I haven't done this in a while. Thomas Grindelwald. I bet he has a pink wand. Let's see.
You're going where you're getting what I'm putting down, aren't you?
Thomas Grunewaldy. God, there's only one of you in the entire fucking world. Go figure. What's his picture? Oh, God. He tucks in his fucking shirt up to his tits. Oh, my God. There's actually quite a few of these guys.
He's gone. Somebody said he left.
What do you mean he left? How do you know he left?
Somebody else said he's gone.
I don't care if he's gone. I'm going to go look at his profile. I'm going to find out. I mean, this guy opened up the can of worms. Where's he at? Where's he at? Hold on. You pink. What? What? What does that mean, Liv? He said you show's over. So we're gonna do this. He just said you pink. I don't know if that's
pink?
I don't know if that's an insult.
I gotta find out where he said this.
Hey, you can't be tired. Wake up.
Ooh.
Oh, is he calling? Oh, I hope he's calling. Hey, this is the Donut and Friendly Show on Friday night. Welcome to the show. What's your name and where are you from?
This is Elizabeth. You're going to be kind of mad at me for what I'm about to say.
Why are you interrupting me? Why are you interrupting me?
Because you're...
See how easy that is? I just hang up on you. You interrupt me, I'm going to hang up on you. Now you can call back and you can be polite. Don't call and start yelling at me on my show. I'm not in the mood. Go ahead, Elizabeth. Call back. What did I do? There she is. All right, you going to be nice now? You going to be nice now, Elizabeth?
Okay, yes,
right.
I'm trying to be nice.
No, you weren't. You interrupted. I was saying hi to you and you jumped all over me. All right, go ahead. What do you want? What are you mad at me for?
I still love you guys.
I love you too.
Basically, what I was going to tell you is that Elon Musk is not the richest in my books.
I don't care what your books say.
And
you don't make that decision.
Well, in my opinion, and this is what I'm going to say, in my opinion, rich is not about money.
Oh, my
God.
God.
Rich is about
Elizabeth,
love and friendship and care.
Blah, blah. It's Friday. Try this on me on Monday. Try this on Monday. Not today. Come on, Elizabeth.
It depends. I'm quantifying it.
All right. Go ahead, quantify it. I'll shut up and listen. Go ahead. You're right. Go ahead.
Okay. Rich is about rich for the normal person, which I am not the normal person, believes that rich is all about money. What good is money going to do you in the end? Money is just that. Money can, if the federal bank was to fall out tomorrow, what will he have? He'll have nothing.
He'll have a whole bunch of nice cars and have some worthless stock and pay. I don't know. I don't care. But listen, this isn't the argument. So Elizabeth, who's the richest man in the world? Or the richest woman, or the richest they, them, in your eyes?
Those that love God.
Okay. So what if tomorrow you find out that there's no God?
I won't, because I know there is a God.
Okay, well then he knows that the Fed isn't going to go ahead and collapse, and he's the richest man in the world because monetarily he is the richest man in the world. There we go. Argument solved.
God owns everything.
Okay. So, well then can he go ahead and put down the national debt a little bit for us so we can still have a country in a few years? That would be awesome. Could you make a phone call? I'm not trivializing what you're saying. I understand that. I understand what you're saying. I understand the eye through the needle. I putting a camel through a needle and all that bullshit passing through. I get it. What I'm saying is that this man said that existentially or morally or metaphysically rich, he said the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, is not. And I'm letting you know that financially, from a dollar value, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. Now, if we want to make it about, the size of his heart or charitable contributions or his family or whatever it is, that's a completely different argument. Is that fair?
That is fair because it depends upon what you quantify as being rich.
Exactly. Like I am the poorest man in the world because my daughter is loud, and no, I'm very rich. I've got a great family. I've got great pets. I've got great listeners. I've got a great show. I am very wealthy beyond my means. But in the end, with that and $4.25, I can have a really big cup of coffee in a capitalistic society. Money, you can't take it with you. But man, I'll tell you, you sure do need it while you're on this mortal coil in the corporal, not in the corporal plane. You know what I mean?
I think the richest richest man on the planet is the one who owns the biggest freaking chicken farm that sells eggs right now.
This is true.
Because freaking eggs are gold. Seriously. I mean, we're going to have to up our grocery budget so just so we can keep stock of eggs up in the house.
I think a person who is rich is a person. Now, this is my opinion. The richest person in the world is a person who can learn, even though they think they have the answer. And it's a gift to be able to be an extremely intelligent human being and know when you can be wrong. That is somebody who is ready to humble themselves before God. It's something I work on constantly. Elizabeth, I was just giving you shit, by the way, when I hung up on you and I gave you a ration.
I know.
What do you think? What do you think Elon Musk about his kids that he has? How many kids with how many different women? Do you think it's a problem? Do you think that makes him wrong, or do you have judgment on that? I mean, I'm just interested to get your perspective.
He who has not sinned, let him cast the first stone. For me, let's put it this way. I've been divorced now because I was through a domestic violence situation. If Elon Musk loves all of those children, if he's taking care of those children, then it's between him and God. In the old history days, how many wives did the rulers have?
A lot.
They had many, a lot. So who is to say that the old ways are not in sync? Also, Mormons, how many wives do they have?
Well, considering that it's now polygamy and bigamy is no longer legal in the church, I don't know. But my question is, when it comes down to it, I think it's great that you said that quantifying something based upon perspective is important. And what's rich for me, or rich for, like, what used to be important to me was a huge house, nice car, and all the money and the great restaurants and buying whatever I wanted, the biggest TV. Olivia will tell you. I mean, I blew money like a whore in church. Felt uncomfortable. But now, I can't wait to sell this house. Like when the kids are 18, we're like kicking them right in the butt, and we're selling this thing, and we're getting an RV, or we're going to get a small ranch style home and travel, because what I used to care about is not now. So I think it's based upon not just your current perspective, but your past and experiential learning and your future that will determine what might be important to you now isn't important to you 20 years from now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
How are you? How are you doing?
Oh, let's just put it this way. I'm doing good, as well as I can, even though right now I'm having to try to suffer through with some school issues. Kids need what they need to be able to be educated, and too many teachers are not doing what they need to be doing, and they do not care whether they're doing it or not.
Yeah, that seems to be the problem. How's Oklahoma?
We're still at the bottom, and right now we're snowed under.
Yeah,
I have not been able to really get out of my front door all week because we got snowed under.
Well, I hope I hope for the best. I hope that your football program still stays in the tank, but otherwise, we appreciate you and thank you. I'm not a big Sooners fan, as you can tell. Hey, why is it so windy in Oklahoma?
Because we have too many hot politicians.
No, because Nebraska sucks. That's why.
Oh.
You haven't heard
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, we usually would say, why is it windy in Colorado? Because Nebraska sucks. But, we figured I'd help you out because I know you're not a corn hucker fan. Hey, Elizabeth, we love you. Appreciate you. I'm going to let you go. See ya.
Bye, Elizabeth.
Love you too.
Bye. She's a nice lady. All right. Well, Liv, last minute. It's Friday. We had a good week, strong week, tiring week. I think Amy Stamcombe dropped off. I hope she's not upset because I don't disagree with her that there's some very... Oh, there she is. I live in an RV. It's nice, cheap living, but winter is brutal. I bet. Can't have a fire in an RV.
My
right?
mom lives in an RV too.
Yeah. You know what I would... we got to figure out what we're going to do. But if we get an RV, it's going to be a bus. It's going to be one with a generator in it so we can have heat and hot water and, I don't want to be Grizzly Adams or maybe a nice cabin. You know what I'd probably do? I'd probably call my Aunt Sherry and see if she would let us live up in the Big Bear cabin.
Yeah.
And go live up in,
if they still have it. Does she still have it?
I'm sure she has. Yeah, I'm sure Randy and them use it. Folks, it's been a wonderful week. Appreciate you. For the idiot who bailed out. You lost. It's okay, dude. It happens. Here's the problem. You could have just argued and not been a sanctimonious cocksucker. I mean, seriously. That's a person who's not rich. That's a person who's not happy. If you have to degrade others and try to make them feel small because you may know something that they don't, and in this case, you knew nothing, and I knew something that you didn't, and I decided to degrade you right back because I believe an eye for an eye. I believe that's one of the best parts of the Bible. I don't believe in turn the other cheek. I think that's for fascists. Liv, take us out. 1 minute.
Thank you, everyone, for your donations and for a wonderful week. And don't forget, it will be a late start on Monday because of Ethan's concert.
Matt, there's cheap land in West Virginia. Yeah, but the business taxes are...
Oh, we actually looked at West Virginia. About 3 years ago, we went to West Virginia for a vacation, and we had a cabin that was like just surrounded by woods, and it was an amazing vacation. And I spent a lot of that vacation sitting on the porch swing out front, which I still don't have my own porch swing yet.
Oh my, really? Are you fucking kidding me? You got a dual vortex fryer and you're bitching about a porch. I'll get you a fucking porch thing and you can sit on it all fucking year. How about that?
But after that, we're like, we would love to have some land and maybe have a little bit cheaper of a house. And we looked, and
school systems are dirt.
We couldn't do it because of the school systems.
That's horrible.
They're 49th in everything.
My kids would teach the teachers.
Yeah,
that's
and
how
we're just
bad
like,
it is.
we can't do it. I mean, we looked and
hi, Ively.
just couldn't do it. So
it's so good seeing all the people, and then seeing the new people. But it's just so good to see people that have been coming around for so long. Folks, I love you guys. I really do. And when I'm grumpy, most of it's just show. And I'm not even upset at that retard. Whatever fuckstick's name was, this fuckwad. All right, good night, everybody. Listen, we'll see you Monday. Monday, what time, Liv?
What time? I would say 8-ish.
8, because Ethan's got...
Ethan's concert's at 7, so it just depends on how long it is. It's just 6th grade, so I think it's just 6th grade choir. So I don't think it's going to take that long, but I don't know.
We have a deck, Michelle. She wants a swing. She wants a swing. Porch swing.
Porch swing.
Yeah, an $18,000 deck wasn't good enough. Now she wants a porch swing. Yes, master. I get right out.
It's not like I could use it right now anyway, but...
Oh, you're going to use it all right. You're going to go fucking there with your witch cold heart and freeze your ass out there. Where's your mom? She's on the porch. Dad, she's been out there for 3 weeks. Yes, she has. That's just... It wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen. I don't have the balls. She has them in her purse and the spine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You would miss me too much.
Joseph says, I'm calling. You're not calling. We're leaving. We're getting out of here. We're leaving. See you Monday, 8 o'clock. Everyone have a God blessed weekend. Take care of each other because no one else will. See you soon. Good night.
Night, y'all.
I'm going to give her a swing as soon as we get in the bed. She can swing on that all night long.
That's funny.
Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show.
Oh, I love it.
Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.